Where are the bodies? Have you ever wondered why are there no new cemeteries being built? The truth is so shocking that the person who made the original video got banned. Make sure you stick around till the end of the video because they might just take this down.
And that gotta make you think, like, what is really going on with all of these bodies? Where are all of these bodies going? Caskets and all.
But the weirdest thing was, it was really light. Like, extremely light. Like, and I'm not a big dude. So I was like, I told him, I was like, why is that so light? He was like, don't ask questions that you ain't ready for.
I've often said, I have not seen a new graveyard in my lifetime. I've never heard about a graveyard being too full to accept new bodies.
All the evidence comes down to this. I will probably never talk to you again. After this video, I don't know what my future will be on TikTok or even in life. But I wanted to let you know that I was telling the truth the whole time. I can't tell you everything, and I can't show you everything.
So I keep trying to make this video, and halfway through, once I start talking about what I need to talk about, the volume goes away. So, cool, let's try this again.
This is definitely something to think about.
I even seen a creator say that she's never seen them build a new cemetery. And I thought to myself, you're right. I've never seen them open a new cemetery. It's been the same cemeteries here that's been here since we've been here. And that gotta make you think, like, what is really going on with all of these bodies? Where are all of these bodies going? Caskets and all. And I'm not talking about on a supernatural or spiritual plane. I'm talking about the physical. When you really think about it, it is no way that all of these bodies could be in these cemeteries all over. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but y'all need to check his story out, because he might tell it a little bit better than I told it, and you might feel a little bit different hearing it from him.
I've never seen a new cemetery being built either. I've heard they stack bodies on top of each other. This man's account got banned after making this video.
Y'all want to hear some to really blow y'all's mind this morning? So, as a side hustle, I dig graves and graveyards and cemeteries across Bowling Green and surrounding counties. Something didn't set right with me today. As I was digging, the guy that's the director of the graveyard walked up to me, and he was like, we need to lift that casket up to get it even. So we put it on a tally and brought it back up. When we brought it back up, it come off even in a way, but it was crooked in the corner. So he's like, we got to lift it. So I lifted it, me and him together. But the weirdest thing was, it was really light. Like, extremely light. Like, and I'm not a big dude. So I was like, I told him, I was like, why is that so light? He was like, don't ask questions that you ain't ready for. Y'all, I'm freaked out. What are they doing with these bodies?
So why would TikTok ban him for making this harmless video? What are they trying to hide? The guy in the video had to create a different account just to make this comment. They banned me after making this video. Watch this guy break down the math.
I've often said, I have not seen a new graveyard in my lifetime. I've never heard about a graveyard being too full to accept new bodies too. So you would think that there would have to be a lot of them that would say, nope, no vacancy here. So what would you have to do? You would have to take out new plots of land in order to continue to bury people. But they don't do that. So where are the bodies?
We've all seen the viral video of the guy that's a part-time gravedigger that says you'll never see a new cemetery being built, and everybody saying that that's proof of the Matrix. Well, buckle up, let's go for a ride, because I did the math after it piqued my curiosity. So we'll start with some raw numbers, and for everything I have here, I only used Google's quick search results to keep it even and fair. So, Our current population is 340 million today. At our current death rate, that's 7.7% dies every year, for a total of 26,180,000. Well, currently, we've plummeted in the last 25 years to 39.4% buried. That's 10,314,920 a year. So keep that in mind, but let's go back further because cemeteries are never new, they're always old, right? The most you can fit is 1,250 people in an acre. The American Planning Association says there's currently 140,000 acres. So let's go back even further. So from 1800 to 1900, 80 million Americans died. And from 1900 to 2000, 270 million Americans died. That's a total of 355 million people dead. Well, depending on which schematic you want to use, it was anywhere from 83 to 92% were buried opposed to other methods. I kept it at 80% just to, be heavily conservative and see where this goes. Well, it gets a lot more interesting now because at 80%, that's 284 million graves. At 140,000 acres, it's at best 170 million graves. So we already got 109 million people just chilling out, like stacked up dead somewhere, waiting to get buried or are buried and still have to bury new people every day.
Math does not math.
It is unusual. It is unusual.
I think that what a lot of people have said, I believe this to be true, is that if you look into the world population numbers, a lot of people believe that the books are cooked. There's not as many people as they say there are.
What about the people being cremated? A lot of people can't afford to be buried. Well, let's look at this comment. Look up aquamation facilities in your state. That's what's happening. And it's not new. They've been doing this for a decade or even longer for some locations. Soylent Green isn't just a movie. What does he mean by that? And someone else replied, supposedly not legal in Texas for humans, but for pets it is. Is that why my energy drink smells like a wet dog when I open it? Or is that a sign of a stroke? Smells like what now? Let's investigate further what Soylent Green is.
All the evidence comes down to this. I will probably never talk to you again. After this video, I don't know what my future will be on TikTok or even in life. But I wanted to let you know that I was telling the truth the whole time. I can't tell you everything. And I can't show you everything. Because that'd be an automatic violation. And I don't need that right now. But I want to let you know that sometimes the truth sounds a lot stranger than a lie. And it's hard to trust people in this world. But there is some people that are really telling the truth. And for that reason, you got to take them serious. I've got about 3,000 more pages of evidence that I want to share with you. And I hope that they don't ban me. Because I want to continue to give you information. This ain't just somebody talking to you to be talking. I really want to wake you up to what's going on in the world. It goes so much deeper than what I'm talking about with graves and anything else. Have a good day. And stay prayed up.
What does this mean, bro? Just yap for a minute? Where's the exhibit 1? Let's look at the comments. I was a butcher for a few years, mostly wild game and some normal stuff. I've seen extremely weird things inside animals that is definitely deceased or whatever, and I was told to process it anyway. I didn't, but that's why I fully believe this right here is real. So is he referring to the picture behind the guy? So he's saying they're serving us these people? If you continue to eat at places like Taco Bell, good luck. Please tell me this is rage bait.
So I keep trying to make this video, and halfway through, once I start talking about what I need to talk about, the volume goes away. So cool, let's try this again. I just got off of a 10-hour shift where I was on my feet running all day. Right afterwards, went to the gym, pushed myself pretty heavy, so naturally after a day of running and then working out, I'm exhausted and hungry. All I wanted to do was get some food before I went home, went to bed, and did it all over again. And I came to Cookout in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, right outside of the Nashville area. And I order a tray, I park my car. I get about halfway through my tray, all my cheese curds are gone, almost done with my barbecue sandwich, and I bite into this. It's a tooth. It's a chip of a tooth. I threw up my entire meal. And you know, that was one of those things that, like, I had my suspicions. It seemed very likely that these fast food chains are doing what they're rumored to be doing. But you know, so since I've been learning about that, I've been staying away from, you know, like McDonald's, Wendy's, the main ones. Starving, there's nothing open, so I went to Cookout. A freaking tooth. I'm sick to my stomach. I can't. To wrap your brain around this. Never eating fast food again.
This has to be fake. There's no way. Can someone please let me know that chicken have teeth, right? Please tell me chicken have teeth. If I find a tooth in my chicken sandwich, I'm not taking another breath. Look at this craziness. Are you sending that for DNA testing? What if it's a missing person? Start a GoFundMe. We will pay for it. What? Forget DNA testing, start a GoFundMe for therapy. Look at this next comment. Wasn't long ago, a meat processing factory in Detroit was raided and they found human DNA there. This company supplies McDonald's. There was another factory out west. I can't remember where, but they also found human DNA. What is going on here? He got fired for revealing what they do with the bodies.
Gravedigger, Part 3. I'm finally free to say a little bit more because charges have been filed. I knew that day that the casket was empty. And I want to clarify something. I was not digging up a casket. That was a fresh burial. The person had been dead for 2 days. That's it. No longer. So no, the body didn't decay. Nothing like that happened. We was putting the casket on, and it's got to set straight. Like, you got to put it on there, and, you know, to lower it in the hole, of course, you know, it's got to be on top of there. Well, it had come up and it had popped up in the corner a little bit. So I went over there, and the director had told me, he's like, hey, we got to get this back on here, you know, we got to get it straight. So I'm like, cool, you know, we do it all the time, but usually it's pretty hard. Sometimes it takes a couple of us, but usually more, you know, depending on how big the person is, how heavy everything is. So we went over there and we went to put it on, and when we did, my side popped up all the way. Like, pretty much to the point to where I knew it was empty. I questioned him, and he told me, you know, to not ask questions that I wasn't ready for the answer for. Then, after talking to one of my fellow gravediggers, Scott, he told me the truth. He said, man, he said, I'm going to tell you something, and he said, this don't go no further than me and you. He's like, they're not burying a lot of people because the meat has other destinations. Now, that night I got a call after I made the video, and I was told to take the video down because it was causing disruption. You know, people had been talking to my boss, and his daughter had actually seen it on TikTok also. Therefore, I didn't take the video down. So my fate was sealed. I was terminated, which I had no problem with. A couple days after that, me and a person talked on here, and he said, you know, I think that you should take this time to kind of expose the funeral industry because you already have in a way. So now that's kind of my goal. That's where I'm at. This wasn't the first time that happened. There's also some shady stuff going on to where I noticed that they was telling us not to bury nobody while there was any type of family there. They're like, don't let them see you bury anybody. We don't want people spectating. You know, and that could be for all kind of purposes, but that's what was happening. Also, like in the funeral homes, I was noticing like that the people that own them like had a lot of money. Like, and I mean, you know, I know they make a lot of money, but like it was unreal. Like they had new Corvettes, and one of the funeral homes, they don't even hardly bury very many people. It's in a small town. They have like maybe 2 or 3 funerals a week. And like their son is like 17 and he has a 2025 Corvette. They have like a huge house. They own like a vacation home in Florida. And like things just wasn't adding up. So I started getting suspicious. So instead of just quitting the job in the first place, like I was going to do when I first started it, I started to kind of infiltrate them. And I started paying attention to what they was doing. And this wasn't the first time that I handled an empty casket. And I also heard so much things that I'm going to tell you in the future on lives, but I can't tell you in videos. But I'm letting you know that they're not doing right with the bodies. They're not burying a lot of them. There's a lot of organ trafficking. They're targeting immigrants, inmates, people with no families. And they're literally selling them. And it's not just one funeral home. It's thousands. And the more I look into this, the worse it gets. I pray you're still with me. We got a long road ahead of us. But I wanted to make a part 3 and kind of let you know where I was at and clarify some things. I hope you listen. God bless you all, and thank you for supporting me through this journey.
His friend said, keep it between me and you, and he just went on TikTok and told the whole world. This man cannot keep a secret. Do you trust him? Do you think he's telling the truth? A part of me wants to say yes, because at the end of the day, it's an evil world we live in. This is why they don't build new cemeteries.
Okay, so we're going to dispel all the rumors about the whole cemetery stuff right now. The reason why they don't build no more cemeteries is because they build more room. They just make more room for more bodies. Check it out. They just make more room. They bodies, cemetery, and then right there, you see that? They're making more room. Right there, they're just going to build and keep going, until they're all the way up there through those mountains if they have to. That's why they don't build new cemeteries. Because they just build on their own property. So you guys need to knock it off. They're not doing nothing with the bodies, they just make more room. Right there. People there, no people to the left. They're making more room. Get a grip.
This man has had enough with the conspiracy theories. He said get a grip, he is sick of it. He might be right, I don't know what to believe right now. If 352 people pass away every minute in America, then why are there no new cemeteries? Does that math even add up? I don't think so. He might have a point here.
So tell me why there's no new cemeteries. When was the last time you seen a new cemetery being built? I've lived in the same freaking area my whole life. Same cemeteries are here since I was a little kid. Never a new cemetery. Some of these cemeteries, they've got headstones going back to the early 1800s. You're telling me we haven't needed a new cemetery in 200 years? I've never a new cemetery. It's the same cemeteries, and they're not even that big. Where you live, have you ever seen a cemetery being built? And I get that more people are doing cremation or whatever. That doesn't explain it. Man, people are passing away all the time. Where are the bodies going? Why did the cemeteries not fill up? Tell me what you think. This is driving me crazy. There's no new cemeteries. It doesn't make sense.
He's right. I've never seen a new cemetery being built. Obviously, if the cemetery is in the middle of nowhere, it's easy to get new land. But how do cemeteries in the city find more space? The math is not adding up.
Y'all bear with me, but this is gonna be worth it because I got a few illusions that I gotta break. I gotta help my people break this illusion, man, to a lot of people who stuck in the way where they only believe what they can see. You understand? A lot of us only believe what we think is logical. I need y'all to check this out. In the United States, we have 7,000 plus deaths a day. Y'all understand? 7,000 plus a day. And then if we having 7K a day, y'all know what that means? That's 2,555,000 deaths a year. Stick with me, because this gonna break an illusion for some of y'all. The so-called what people view as the United States was established in 1776, right? July 4th, 1776, right? It is now 2024. So that means 248 years have passed, right? So if we're having 2,555,000 deaths a year, and you multiply that by 248 years that has happened since 1776, that means there should be about 633,640,000 graves. Y'all understand? That should be 633,640,000 graves. Stick with me. In the United States, there's only 144,000 graveyards. Y'all see where I'm going? There's only 144K graveyards in the United States. Known graveyards, y'all understand? That means each graveyard in the U.S. will have to have 4,400 graves. Y'all know and I know, ain't no graveyards in the United States. Well, it ain't that many that hold 404,000. In y'all neighborhood, it's not that many graves there. So the question is, where are these graves going? All the people who passed, where are these dead bodies going?
Did he really say that in 1776 we had the same population? Come on, what in the math is going on here? I really thought he was on to something. Why they don't need to open new cemeteries.
Has anyone ever seen them open up new cemeteries? Some people have and some people haven't, but government don't really need to open up new cemeteries because this is a whole new section that has not been used yet. The biggest too. This section isn't even open yet. I won't even be alive long enough to see somebody put up in there. And look, they just opened up this section right here. And some cemeteries are actually burying people on top of other people. So when you're visiting your loved one, you're also visiting someone else. Crazy.
See, this is what I'm saying. Cemeteries in the middle of nowhere have the ability to expand by buying new land because it's available. Where are all the bodies?
We're talking conspiracy theories this morning, and my husband has an interesting theory.
Okay, so you know how there's a bunch of people in the world. A lot of folks die. But we ain't got no new cemeteries. Like nowhere. It's all old cemeteries. So where's all the bodies?
My mind has been blown. Like, it's true. We don't have any new cemeteries. Very interesting.
So Google says approximately 1.5 million people are cremated annually. And approximately 700,000 people are buried every year. But Google also says that 3.25 million people die every year. So where do those 850,000 other bodies go? They're in our food.
Stop. No.
I'm starting to believe that cremation is the answer, only because that's the cheapest option. People can't afford a normal funeral. It's just too expensive. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more content like this. Click on this video to see an entitled beggar block the checkout line just to beg for money.